So it says I'm live. I hope the chat works in this time because I don't because last time I didn't want to work when I did this. So we're gonna see if this worked through my computer camera and see who shows up. So hey, Mr. Ninek Panoz, not much. I'm just hanging out. I was up on a trip in northern Wisconsin fishing and for like 5 days, and now I'm back to the normal life. I've been doing lab work, and I'm gonna be doing some fishing around here too. Been working in my garden. I finally did get some. I finally did get some footage of me catching some muskies, which I'm working on uploading the videos. Hey, Kentucky Cat Man, did you end up getting any cats today? Because wasn't really paying a lot of attention to your whole stream, like because I was at work. But it looks like it was nice that you're out fishing. I should actually try doing some catfishing videos and catch one bigger than the 1 pounder that I caught, or half pounder that I caught in a video the other day. That sucks that you got rained out. I think all the rain went south of here today because it looks like it was supposed to rain here today, but it didn't rain. So we haven't gotten rain that much. We got rain where I'm living at now, but it actually missed me when I was in northern Wisconsin fishing. So that was nice. Have you guys been getting any nice fish? Hey, Moo Moo Outdoors. Those were some really nice lake trout you caught in that video you posted the other day. I was really impressed. I haven't caught any big lake trout. I was hoping when we go out on Lake Michigan trolling that we're going to hook up with one, but we haven't hooked up with any big lake trout out there. But you should be able to catch them out there. And on Lake Superior, last year I got into some, but they were all dink ones. They're like 2 pounders that we were catching. Yeah, I watched that video, Dexter. That was pretty cool. You should go back to that spot. You caught some cool fish, and it's not a. How's the big boat? We only took it out that one day. I was thinking about taking it out, maybe taking it out this weekend, but we need to arrange that. But I'm ready to take it out again. It worked pretty well the last time, although we only managed to get a couple salmon to eat. Those little Toho salmon, though, are pretty good to eating ones. They're really mild salmon, so they're good to eat. And they've been catching lots of them out on the big lake, so we should be heading back out there. Try that. Do whatever you feel like, Dexter. I don't know what the fish are interested in Malaysia. They might be interested in a little different things than what are here, because I obviously haven't fished there. So, hey, Kelly Paulson, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. So I got these baits from Chaos Paddler, some of his triple threat spinner baits the other day that I'm going to try out when I go bass fishing next time. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. And he sent me these 2 triple threat spinner baits, so we're going to see how they work out. And it said on the box that TK Bass Fishing with TK Heaven loves you. So I was going to try them out next time that I go out and do some bass fishing, which will hopefully be this weekend. Yeah, they should work really well. I don't know how they should really make a lot of vibration with the triple blades, because I've seen it where they have 3 blades on a shaft. Oh, attracting the cats with them. But I've seen it where you have like 1 shaft with 3 blades on it, but I've never used them like this. Thanks for stopping by, Braden. Hey, Precision Angling. I'm doing pretty well. I just decided to randomly doing a live stream. That looks similar to an umbrella rig. Yeah, it does look similar to an umbrella rig, but it only has 3 blades and 1 hook on it. In Wisconsin, you can't have an umbrella. You can't have like Alabama rigs in Wisconsin, which have more than 3 hooks or bait on a line, because that's just what the rules are. So like if you use an Alabama rig for bass fishing in Wisconsin, you have to cut cut a couple of the wires off of it to use it. Because I know in some of the southern reservoirs, they'll use them for fishing where there's a suspended shad. Not much. I was playing with some soil today, Wes. I was mixing some clay from, you only use 3 hooks in California too. Every state has like its own. I was monetized and I got demonetized. And I can still get super chats, but I cannot get. And thanks for the super chat, Kirby. But am not getting commercials ran on my videos yet. Like I've been under review for like 4 months. So it sucks, but that's how it goes. But yeah, but it's crazy how every state has its own fishing rules, and like there's so much variability in fishing rules that when you post videos or online or pictures online, sometimes people can question what you can have. Because like in Wisconsin, you can keep 25 panfish a day, and you can keep, if you catch 25 crappies, you can keep 25 crappies. Not much. I just decided to do a random live stream and see who would show up and just chat about fishing. But in like the base lakes in Wisconsin, you can keep like 25 panfish a day, and then you could keep 25 crappie, or you could keep 25 perch. Like in Minnesota, you could only keep. Yeah, I keep some walleyes, trout, salmon, and panfish. You have no rigs on panfish in Maine? I'm surprised they don't have unlimited rules on the smallmouth you're catching either in your videos. Because it looks like that stream had quite a few smallies you were fishing in at Precision Angling. Yeah, we're talking about fishing. Because I know when I went in Maine a long time ago, like I had kept a smallie to eat, and they like the warden like checked us and clubbed it over the head. And on the lake we were in, they wanted unlimited smallies. Yeah, we have long nose and short nose gar. I haven't caught one. I haven't caught a gar in a few years. The last one I think I caught, I snagged on a muskie bait. But they're definitely not as big as the gar down in Florida. They're only get to about 50 inches long, probably, including the bill. Is probably the biggest one that I've caught. There's some in one river where a lot of my. Yeah, we were just supposed to have been on an unregulated lake. But the one river where I've been shoot a lot of my videos, the one bigger river, there's gars there. You can see them surfacing. The last time I was out there, I could see them surfacing. Supposedly, if you'd make like flies out of rope, you can catch them on it, which are. That's really cool, Dexter. That you caught that fish. That's expensive. Those look like I really enjoy watching your videos because they're unique. So that's cool that you caught a rare fish. Like whatever fish Desmond and Florida Kids Fishing was catching were pretty cool looking too, even though they looked kind of funky, but the fish they were catching were pretty cool looking too. It looked like a baby grouper. Grouper fishing looks like it's pretty fun from watching. They're like 2,000 miles away. I don't know where there starts to be a lot of gars that show up, but I don't think in the Northeast U.S. there's that many of them. Most of the gars we catch are long-nosed gars. And hey, Country Mom, thanks for stopping by. Most of the ones I catch are long-nosed gar, and I just catch them. Hey, LM Outdoors. And they usually just hit like a Rapala or minnows. Hey, go-karts are. Yeah, I hear you there, Precision Angling. I knew that was a rough guess. But they're just so. You do multi-species. When's the next fishing trip? I have some videos from the trip. Hey, Passion for Honey Fishing Taxidermy. Thanks for watching LM Outdoors. Yeah, I did some muskie fishing up north, and I had a couple other muskie fishing videos to post too. I finally got into some action. I haven't been having very good action until I went on this trip to northern Wisconsin. I'm not sure this weekend. I am definitely going to do some fishing. I don't know whether it's just going to be on like Lake Wisconsin or the Wisconsin River or some creek around here, or if I'm going to go to Lake Michigan or somewhere. I still need to schedule that. And I think on like the 28th, towards the end of June, there's this kayak and canoe fishing tournament in Mercer, Wisconsin, which me and my dad are planning on going to, which like 15 to 20. Muskie fishing is the same way. Like some days you can literally cast all day and have 0 follows, and then all of a sudden you'll take like 5 casts and catch 2 muskies. It is such a frustrating type of fishing sometimes. Like sometimes, or some days you'll just get them to follow all day, and then you really struggle to get them to bite your bait. They can be very picky about how your baits are presented, and those are gonna hit hard. You want to catch a snakehead? I've never caught one before, but I've seen plenty of videos where people are catching the snakehead. Supposedly they taste good too. So sometime I might have to try. That's a nice one. Good job, Passion. They're all over Maryland. Okay, cool. I was actually just talking to my one relative that lives in Maryland, and she said the same thing about snake at the river. They're about 5 hours north of you in Maine. I don't know. Like, I think most of the pike and muskie in Maine are probably introduced too, unless they're in some river in the way northern part. It looks like you have some quality pike there though in Maine. If I fish some different lakes, I could get into some big. Broke the record for Maryland's 19-pound for snakehead. That's a big snakehead. But yeah, but in like California, you have different fish to fish for than you like. You have stripers and white sturgeon, which are pretty cool. Muskie came south from Canada. That makes sense that they came south from Canada. I think a lot of the fish here are ones that were distributed across the whole area that was glaciated. Florida's full of exotic fish. Your pike and muskie record is 31 pound. Our muskie record is, I think, too many. I know it's warm enough where a lot of that stuff will survive down there and take off too. Here we have some exotic fish, but some of the exotic stuff is doing really bad and slowly taking over. And it's not very good, but once it's introduced, it's really hard to fix the issues of having exotic things. Like even think fish species, stripers are super sick. Yeah, stripers are pretty cool. Precision angling from Maine. But like even like things like brown trout will like eventually take over all the brook trout and streams and stuff. Like certain species do better in certain habitats than other species. So eventually biology change. Our state record northern is, you have a chain pickerel? Oh, thanks for stopping by, Moo. Our state record northern pike is 38 pounds. And that was caught like a really long time ago. You wish you had trout here? The trout do taste good, but they need cold water to live in, so they generally don't live except in mountainous regions farther south. So you don't need mountainous regions that are cooler or be farther away from the equator to have cooler water for trout. You have sea trout in the bay. I've seen a lot of videos of people catching the sea trout. They look pretty fun to catch, and it looks like when they're up biting, you can catch quite a few of them. He trapped a 41 pounder. Yeah, trout need a certain temperature and dissolved oxygen. They're too much fun. But yeah, trout need a certain temperature and dissolved oxygen level to survive, and they need streams that are pretty cool. So like if you have temperatures that are warmer than like 22, 24 degrees C, which that would be like 70 some odd degrees, the trout do not survive. The brown and brook or lake trout or brook do not survive very well. Like the rainbow and brown trout could probably take closer to 80 degrees Fahrenheit for a period of time. But hey, Charlene, thanks for standing by. Hi, C-dubs. But like the brook and lake trout are really sensitive to the oxygen, dissolved oxygen, and that's pretty interesting that they've just become a popular fish and delicious. The trout only live in certain areas that stay cool enough in the summer, so they just die if they're in an area that's too warm. So like in lakes, like you can catch trout. The creeks that I'm fishing for the most part, have areas that stay cool during the summer. Like their temperature does not get above like 20 degrees C or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 851 right here. So like they need to have a certain type of stream that has a good connection to groundwater, and the groundwater is a lot cooler than surface water because it doesn't have. Yeah, trout do migrate into certain streams. It depends upon whether they're stream trout or lake run trout, like steelhead or. Yeah, I was just going to say that, like in a lake, they'll head down deep, like and suspend. So like in Lake Michigan one day, like we didn't have a mark on the locator less than 70 feet down. And literally the only fish we caught the one day was on a dipsy diver with 225 feet of line out. So like everybody just has to fish for them really deep, or in some of the smaller lakes, people either drop down like a worm or minnow on a really heavy weight, or use downriggers or different diving techniques to get down deep enough to fish them too, because they'll suspend out in open water where the thermocline is and the temperature gradient is in the water. So you need to have a lake or a stream A 6-inch brookie 75 feet down. I don't think that fish would have survived. It's really hard on the fish to pull them up through all the temperature gradient too, because it's especially a small fish, because if you bring a small fish up from really deep, like it'll pop its air bladder and they don't usually release very well. I know on Lake Superior, they're actually having issues with the lake trout populations being low, and like they closed the part of the lake once the lake trout so many lake trout were caught out of the one area, so it's almost not even worthwhile going out there fishing for the browns or cohos, because you're probably going to kill them letting them go in 70 some odd degree water either. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure down that deep. But sometimes if you want to catch the fish, you gotta fish down there. Hey, it's too hot where you live. Yeah, it definitely is, Kirby. Hey, Mr. Hard Charger, I added you on Facebook, so you're Chris, but I was just chatting about fishing. We were talking about trout, and I just randomly decided to do a live stream and see who would show up. So it's 70 and 80 here during the winter time. That's about how warm it is now here. So that's, but in the wintertime here, it's like 10 to 40. Hey, Jet Wash Outdoors, thanks for telling me. The rainbow trout, yeah, the rainbow trout are, holy crap, that's hot, Kirby. The rainbow trout are really pretty. The ones that Fly Fishing Ninja, which we're catching, have really good colors on them. It's 76 in the winter in Florida. The ones I have caught have not had that good of colors, though. They're all stocked here, though. You French kissed a fish today. You up to the challenge? I think those are like native fish that have been in there for a while. Hey, Pam, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Dotu. $114 is really hot. You stuck your tongue right in its mouth. Do you have that on video, Jet Wash? Because I'd want to watch that. So that's pretty funny, actually. No, there wasn't a camera. That's too bad. Bet you can do it, though. I think that's worse than the one Sugar River video, which I'm really mad that the life of a fly fisherman hasn't done the challenge he accepted to do from it. Because eating those little things that swim around on the rocks was pretty interesting. Fish Kissy challenge. Hey, Rip and Live 57, how are you doing? I'm running out of challenges to do. You got little paper cuts on your tongue? Great. Hey, Common Man's Fly Fishing, thanks for stopping by. So do you want me to French kiss like a northern too? Cause that would be pretty sharp. That just doesn't even sound right. It's not like I'm Steve-O and Jackass, who would do all sorts of silly things. I think I'm gonna pass on that, Jet Wash. This is getting interesting, and I know some people were wanting me to do a live stream when I was drinking, which on Friday, this last week when I went on my trip, we had a pretty good night and had a lot of fun. The stink finger. Hey, Gavin, how are you doing today? Thanks for stopping by your stream. Put the lip lock on a snook. I hope you catch some big fish this weekend, Gavin. I would like to catch some snook sometime. I need to do some saltwater fishing. Give the snook a mouth hug. I think I'll pass on that. Hey, full on fishing. Not much. I was just doing a live stream and chatting with whoever showed up. French. Thanks for stopping by Precision Angling. I'm going to start editing the video on my collab with you soon, too, and hopefully share that sometime soon. And we need to see if I can get some bigger fish on it. I was really struggling to measure the fish for that challenge, though, and I think the inches I have on the one fish a little less than what it actually was, but it's all good. What happens in the boat doesn't always stay in the boat. Yours is 90% done. I'll start editing mine next. I had another episode of the trout challenge I was doing, which I have 2 more episodes to upload, and then I was just gonna upload some just random whatever fishing adventures I do. I did have someone request on like how to figure out and how show like how I actually trout fish and stuff, which I'm going to make. And someone said to do a show how I cook trout, which I might do. And then I'll probably just do some muskie fishing and some Lake Michigan trips and whatever other fishing I do trips. That'll be really random. I'll definitely be back out muskie fishing later this week, and I'll still occasionally do some stream fishing trips, though. I was working really hard on trying to get all the episodes of that. Yeah, that cat coughs a lot. He has allergy issues too, though. I can't believe you hooked that big of a pike on that little tiny like spinner that I was making to use for trout. I think I got like a 30. I got a muskie that was probably like 33 or 34 on the spinner, but the longest fish I measured was 31, so it was all good. But it was really tough because I was fishing out of a kayak when I did that, so. But it's all fun. The muskie on a frozen rod. That was a tough challenge. It's hard to keep big fish hooked on small baits sometimes, though. That's part of fishing. See you later, Dexter. But like I wasn't recording when I was up north, and I had a really awesome muskie hit, and it like got off after I fought it for 30 seconds too. I was doing a figure eight, and I like went around like 3 or 4 times, and like the muskie had followed up my bait, and it like stayed on it, and it finally hit on like the 4th time around on the figure eight, and then I fought it for like 30 seconds, and then it got off. Like it would have been some really good footage, but it's part of fishing, and I didn't have any cameras running when it hit, though. But that's how fishing goes. Hey, Big D, thanks for stopping by. I'm doing fine. I went up north and did some muskie fishing and was on a trip. I'm just having a hard time reading someone's comments because they're pretty unique stuff. Oh, I thanks for stopping by, Tommy Tech Outdoors. But that's what I'm up to. And I caught some muskies finally too, so I have a few muskie videos coming out. And I made another trout fishing video, and I like hung out with some of my college roommates that I had. So that was all fun, and we partied some. So we had a fun time this weekend. And on my way back from up north, I had a bearing blowout on my trailer, and I like had to drive like an hour to where my brother lives to get tools to fix the wheel bearing on my boat trailer, and then I had to fix the wheel bearing on my boat trailer, and then drove back home. So it was a long day of traveling to get home that day. But I didn't record any of that on video, but that's all. Hey, Steve, you finally made it by. I was working with some bentonite and some smectite, some Fuller's Earth today. It was some pretty fun stuff to work with. So, and I was talking about some adventure I did to northern Wisconsin and fishing. So yeah, it was a bummer, but it's all part of life, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was actually trying to get the bentonite like really saturated with water. It's actually like hydrophobic to water when I was trying to wet the stuff sometimes though. It was in water partially wet, and I literally left it sit in my lab for like a month, and it was still like mostly wet. And I was actually trying to make it like a concrete mixer consistency to measure a test on it in my lab, because I was basically trying to measure its total shrinkage to do some test we have, because we're trying to look at how the strength states of different bentonite, different salinity and salinity and levels of sodium change, how much the soil's swelling properties are when we mix it with kaolin and sand. So that's why I was working with that stuff. And I've been measuring a whole bunch of water retention. Did I ever get it to a snot consistency? Yeah, I have got it to a snot consistency. It's really nasty to work with, actually. It's like dries out your hands. It's some interesting stuff. I think some of it was basically like a snot consistency today, because the only way you wet it is you like oversaturate it, and then it like swells up and absorbs all the water, and then it becomes more solid because it has so much surface area and interlayer swelling. And they use a lot of it for cat litter. I think the one engineering class I was in said that they used like a third of the bentonite they mined in the US for animal litter. This is because it has really high ability to absorb moisture, so that's what they use it for, and for landfill liners and pond liners. But I usually use it I'm using it to study how clays and soil behave, because certain types of clay are reactive to sodium and certain ones aren't. Hey, everybody. Well, I'm getting tired of talking tonight. I appreciate everyone that stopped by the stream. I'm going to end this stream now. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching.